Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I go over here. And let me pause the other video feeds. Can't jam when the video feed's not going. Hi, my name's John Skippy Limcool. Welcome to a live stream, Saturday, June 9th. Welcome. I see lots of good names over there in the list of chats. Let's say welcome to everybody. Hope you are all doing well. Hi, here, let me share you a little inspiration for fun before we start all this stuff. I went to a waterfall. It's north of Silver Falls. It's off-road. You got to take dirt roads. It's a fairly steep incline straight down the side of a canyon side to get to this waterfall. But it's beautiful. Here, this is Abaquaw. And I took a couple pictures I'm really happy with. I've worked up. There's this one. And then there's also this one, which I really like. Very meditative, calming. We need more of that. I'm working on this. I haven't finalized this yet. This tree looking the other way downstream. I don't quite have the processing. Processing images is a lot of work. It's almost as much work, if not more work, than music. And this is a drone shot. Oh, no, this is another shot with the camera. Do I have a drone picture here? I had my drone with me. It's really cool to be back in perspective. I don't have that here to show. But anyway, hope that inspires you a little. We are having fun with OMG Drums Urban. I worked my buttus off this week and came up with 153 grooves for the Contact 5 version. Let's see, let's put this to read and turn it off. And let's see, we can like compress this down. There's a couple videos. If you haven't been to the channel, there's a video talking about how to get multiple outputs, so that instead of this, you can have 4 pairs of stereo outputs if you want to configure it that way. There's a video showing how to do that. And then I did a video showing installing this library. So those were 2 videos I did this week, as well as this live stream. So it's been a nice busy week. But what we did, I did 153 grooves. If you go to the groove player, to the bonus, here they are. And they go all over the place. You could say Living Happy. Now there's an A and a B. The A is a simplified groove that's designed so that it will also work inside of BreakTweaker. If you go to BreakTweaker and you call this up, and let's say we call up, this is which kit? The hold up kit. So let's go over here to Urban, hold up. So to get this to work, it's slightly different because when you install the library correctly in Super Macho Drums, you have it in the groove player built into the plugin. For BreakTweaker, you don't. So you have to go over here to the folder for BreakTweaker, and here's the grooves. And what was the name of this groove? Living Happy 116. So we can come over here to 116, Living Happy. And as you can see, only the A exists. And I have a BT at the end of it because I have to transpose the map down an octave, so it's not the same map as the one for Contact. But if I load it up and hit play, that's what it sounds like in BreakTweaker. And there's differences between the two. Some of these sounds, when NATO did kits or when I did kits, we would go in and we would use distortion. Like this has raw without it. So those things are not directly transferable to Contact. A lot of times I would just sample the sound out. But it has a certain sound here that's different than a little bit cleaner, punchier. But the thing you do have that's different here is that you have a B groove. And speed just adds more to it. And if you wanted to, you could go over here, drag this over to your sequencer, and because it is super macho drums and you have all these things, you could easily add to it. So quantize it. You can keep building on it because you have all of these sounds across the whole keyboard to work with. That's what makes super macho drums really cool. The other thing that's fun, let's see, let's mute this. Let me check chat real quick. What are you guys chatting about? I did not stack those rocks. I found those rocks. If you notice in these pictures, there's some Karens all over the place. Even in this photo, you see there's a Karen here. I think this one from the back, you see there's 3 Karens here. So there's one, I think over here somewhere, that I just lined up my camera so that's just right in front of it. Got down low and set it long exposure. I like the longer exposure. I know some people don't like the water that does this type of effect, but I love that versus, just sputs and shapes of water and stuff. I'm more of the dreamy kind of guy, So, yeah, I did not move those rocks or make those rocks. Somebody else did. And it's a party. Yeah, you guys are having a nice party. Bruce is asking a question. Does Contact 5 Super Macho work on a PC? Yes. The only caveat is you have to have the full version of Contact 5. It's not using the Contact Player. The Contact Player means there's a serial number involved and it shows up in the Libraries tab. And I have to pay a lot of money to Native Instruments to set that up, and I don't want to do that. So instead, it's a library that shows up under Files, or you can use Quick Load, which is just a control click to get to the kits, but it will work inside the full version of Contact 5. Yes, that's how it's designed. So then you have, at this point, there's like something like 700 grooves between all of these different libraries. Super Macho Drums has all of these grooves, and a lot of these will work inside, even with the urban drum sounds. Let's see if we go to a full mix. Now, something like this, if I wanted to turn this urban, what I would do is, let's delete the MIDI file here. Here's how you drag the MIDI file into your sequencer. And then, let's close, we're not looking at BreakTweaker anymore. And where's the bass coming from? Maybe it's just this. Oh! No, it's playing with the sub kick is like a bass sound. So that's cool. So it worked kind of cool for that. Now, if I wanted to, I could transpose that up to be on the urban kick, and then this is a snare sound. So I could put it on there, and I could take the hi-hat. The right cymbal for the moment. Where's the right cymbal? Oh, yeah, it's right there. Mute. So now I've turned it into using the urban drum kit because the urban drum samples are only right here. See? Right? And then at this point, if I wanted to use this synth sound, what I would need to do is this. Let's go to the editor, and I would close this. Well, let's do it this way. Yeah, close, and then right click to go to the kits and load another version of this sound. Hold up, right? Oh, wait. No. So I need to get my full view. Sometimes that condensed view doesn't work for things like this. But I want to put this right here in the empty space. And so now I have a second version, and it's on MIDI channel 2. So I just go to this sound here and look at my settings, and instead of 1, I'd change this to 2. And then after you play that note, you hit solo transpose. And that sound is on its own keyboard across the whole keyboard now. Let's put a little delay on it. Okay, so, let's see, it's 3, 4. We messed up. So this needs to be on MIDI channel 1. And then this can be MIDI channel 2. There. Trying to hear what pitch that is. F. Something like that. So that's how you could get it to work if you wanted to use the pitch sounds that you find in some of the urban kits. Put it to its own MIDI channel, play that note, hit solo transpose, and then you could let's see, we want the repeats to be 3. Do all sorts of crazy things like that pretty easily, and boy does it sound good. So the Urban Library is available at my website. Just to do a really quick plug, let's call the website real quick and log out. So if you come to the website right now, it's available. There's a bundle, or each of the libraries is available separately. They're on special prices until Sunday night. So I thank you for your support if you pick them up. They're fun libraries. Wait, don't save changes to the instrument. All right, any questions as we go through this? I want to... ESC is... Yeah, well, ESC is appearing in numbers because we're about to play with their library. So they want to check it out, and, you know, I'm glad to see them here. It's really cool. So we can go back to hiding this, but I want to follow up and make sure that I really show support for current stuff before new things is kind of my rule of thumb usually, right? So let's go up here. There's some other things you can do with this that are really fun. If you were going to use these in a musical context, let's do this. Let's say we go to one of these that has an A, B, and a C. So let's go to like, no diggity, wanna bag it up. Say we like this, but I want to play with kits. So the way that it works inside of, I've got my sequencer running, stop running. The way it works, if you go over here and then you change kits, the groove player changes and you lose it. So what I typically would suggest doing is find the groove that you want to start working with. There's a fun one up here. There's a lot of fun ones. There's some chill ones, like when you get to the higher speeds, you get some of the stuff. Now, if I wanted to take this and change kits, you drag over the MIDI file, which sets that all up, and now I can play and I can go through the kits. But if I had this where I was using just a groove player, I wouldn't be able to do this. Right? Some will work and some won't work. I kind of designed these so that they work with the majority of the kits. And then from here, you could easily just call up Omnisphere. Some fun sound to work with. It sounds like something that would be good with a guitar sound. So guitars part 1. Yeah, that's a little too so. Now let's do this. Let's find out what key that sub is and tune it. There. And I'm going to filter it a little bit. And I want it to fade out a little bit faster. And this kick right here, I'm going to lock it. And this is a case where I would probably want to go to separate outputs and put that kick to its own output. And that. You know, whatever. And off you go. All right, so using grooves, that's kind of how I would suggest doing it. You can lock it, set it up as a MIDI file, and then play with changing the kits. There's 45 kits, so you'll get all sorts of different vibes. And it's fun. Take something like this, where the sounds don't quite work right. Hey, Harold. And let's say that we go and we find like that tambourine sound, and we lock it, and then we play it. And now, with this note lock, I love this feature because now I can play the groove and it doesn't, if I don't lock this flies all over the place. And it's changing to show me what sound I play. But by hitting note lock, I can do all sorts of things just to that one sound. Maybe I want the sub to have a pitchy G that falls and goes boo, you know? So there's the sub, put up the pitchy G, and then tune it down. So that's cool. That's a cool vibe. Start writing. But what I did, I took the sub out from having pitch by putting it boo. So I no longer have a lot of these kits with the subs, you're going to have this boo. And a lot of times it's hard to figure out how to work with that. But having something that falls in pitch, that's done really sparse, is really cool. That's dope. That's a great beat. Right? All right. So I just want to show you that kind of stuff. The other thing I want to show you real quick is I took some time to also make some bonus kits, because in the Korg voicing days, we always made the kits with everything on it, but then we'd always make a producer kit. And so I wanted to make sure that I did that for these. There's a couple fun ones. This one is kind of crazy. Let's see, really replace, yes. This one, check this out, if we look at the map, aside from these notes down here, all the way up the keyboard, it is full of samples. And I'll see here, let's get over here. If you look at this and you set this up to say, select zones via MIDI. If you turn that on when you play a note, you will see the zone that you're at, which is helpful. If you don't know how Kontakt 5 works, you have a couple other pages. You have the group editor. This is where you can do such things as, like, if say I want to take, let's find a couple subs and a kick. If I want to, I could use this voicing group. Make sure that edit all groups is off, so that you're only editing these, and click right here, and here's your exclusive groups. So let's say, let's put this to 20 and this one to 20. Now I've got, so when I play that other kick drum, that sub is canceled, which is really cool to do in certain cases where you want to, you know, or if you wanted to make it even more creative, make it a snare. And all you have to do is just go up here and say group 20, and it's in that group too. That's a real cool production trick to get rid of this kick sub so it doesn't muddy up the whole mix. Just, you can do stuff like that. But it's so far of a map that you need to use the transpose features in your sequencer right here to transpose down to where I can get to the bottom. I need to go lower than 24 to get to them. But every kick and sub takes you up to here. So all of these, my friends, are really cool urban drum sample kicks. And then if we set our transpose back to, let's see, starting here, what vibe do you want? You have them all available to work with. There's one more pane I want to just point out, and that's the wave editor. And that's where, if you scroll down here, you can actually see the sample. And this can happen inside of virtually any Kontakt instrument. It gets more complex when the grouping gets to be huge stacked layers and so forth to see the wave editor for the specific sample in a multi-velocity thing. But in a kit like this, where it's just a drum kit, it's really easy to, and you can do things where you take the sample start, change it if you want it. If you do things like that to make something unique, you'd want to save it. You could save it in your song and it will save it. But if you come out here, you can hit the little file button when you are, oh, we're in multi right now because of the, you can't save, it's kind of funny, you can't save patches when you're in the compressed view like this. It can only let you save a performance, or multi as they call it, which is all the parts. So you have to expand back out like this. And now you get to where it goes save as, and you can choose this. Just save it with a different name if you do edits to samples. There's all sorts of things you can do. If you wanted to get deep into Kontakt, you can go to this kick drum, and you've got these different editors. You can close them so you don't see them, right? Go to this one, and instead of sampler, because we have edit all groups off, I can go to this and I believe change it to MPC 60. I can set it to time machine. You can freak it out pretty severely. And I haven't changed any other kick around her. I don't think I have. Let me see. Maybe I have. No, I don't think so. I think I just, let's see, say if I go select by MIDI, then I can say, yeah, it can be separate per sample. So here, this one's got changed to the SP1200. Hear the noise. This can be MPC 60. So you can independently change things. You don't change these effects. If you change this, it changes them all. But you can change the sample playback engine that it's using. So if you want to freak out snares, I've made drum sounds doing this. Let's take this, go to Time Beat Machine. You can do all sorts of, or speed it up. You know, you can do that. So there's a lot of playing ability inside of the engine of Kontakt. If you haven't gotten in there, it's a lot of fun to play with. The other thing you can do with all these subs, you could tune them. So if you set this to drum, let's add lo-fi to this one. Put a pitch EG. So you can make new grooves of all sorts of genres with this. You could so we have a groove here. There's all sorts of places to go. There's that side stick that's got the attack missing. You could also add effects really easily. The glitch is really cool to trick out. So if we went rates, and when we're talking the hi-hats, like all the glitchy stuff that you hear in the hi-hats, let's do this. This will be really fun. So transpose this up 2 octaves. Let's take this one and turn on glitch. Say like 8 repeats. And no transpose. If we have feedback at 0, it gets a little bit softer. This one next to it, let's turn on glitch. And let's have this be 64th notes or 32nd notes. And then this one here next to it, we're going to have this be a 64th note. So we go to timing to 60. Oh, whoops. So I transposed this up. I need to be back down. Was it minus 24 that I was at? Oh no. There we go. So now how do I get to those notes? Oh, I know what I can do. So let's say we transpose this up 24. Let's transpose this down 24 in the region. There. And then what you'd want to do, because they will hit on top of each other, so you would go to this grouping I'll have to do a separate video on this because this is a cool trick. I forgot about this. But let's make this group 9. And I had grouped these already, but I'm going to break them apart and put them. And then this will be the first one that's the simple one. So now I have so you can do all that kind of tricky stuff. And if you want something to be more unique, go to glitch, have it do tuning. So the possibilities of what you can do, there's a lot of fun to play with in here. I mean, have this with reverb. It just goes on and on and on, okay? By the way, I'm a new subscriber and appreciate it. This is from Tinetech Beats. Jazz. Problem is to record my vocals in my DAW, I have to change. Oh, okay, you type in technical stuff. Tell us about the difference of Contact Serum and BreakTweaker version. Yes. So there's 3 versions of the OMG library. Let me show them to you real quick. The Super Macho Drums is really fun because of all the extra samples and stuff, but it's not the original one. The one that was created first by NATO Fields and myself is the one for BreakTweaker, because here's where we had the grooves, all this stuff to work with. We had, so it works like this. I hired NATO to make grooves. I made grooves. We would make the custom sounds for each of these 6 slots. So there's 6 different samples, right? And then the way BreakTweaker works, you play different notes. And you can change patterns. And the grooves are just killer. But I've made, like over 3 years ago, the Super Macho Drums, which originally was called Mega Macho Drums, for Contact. And so I saw the possibility of taking these 6 samples and putting them into Super Macho Drums. So it wasn't that much work. It took a lot of work, but it was something that was fun to do to create this, so that if we go in the 6 on the Urban Kits, go scrolling down the list here, the names are the same to try to keep people from not going too insane. Replace. And the way it works with this is that you've got 61 samples across the keyboard, but right here in the middle, oh, I need to change my transpose back. Here are those 6 samples that you had over inside of the BreakTweaker version. And then if you go out of here to the Groove Player, the original right here will have, if you go down the list, they're alphabetical, just to make it easy. Right? And it does sound different. There's differences to the samples and the way that they're treated inside of BreakTweaker. Here's how it sounds in BreakTweaker. Like for this version, the release on the voice samples is short. So if you wanted, you could go to the BreakTweaker version or to the Super. Shorten it. It's possible to nail it. We didn't get that deeply into comparing between the two. But the thing is, you have this kit of kicks and snares, additional hats, toms, cymbals, cool sound effects, percussion, effects. So you can take this groove produce a song that way, which is different than the BreakTweaker version where you would play different notes and it's playing. You have 3 fills, main grooves, breakdowns. And if you want to mute something, just hit the mute button, you know, to work with it. So then I was thinking about Serum, and I haven't done a library for Serum in a while. And this whistle and the fact that I used Serum to make some of the sounds, I was like, you know, it'd be really fun to just see if I could shoot this over to Serum and make it playable across the keyboard. Because when you call these sounds up in BreakTweaker, this whistle is right here. I could take this and if I wanted to make it a shorter oh wait, undo whatever I just did. I could make this shorter and like that, but I'm like the operator. Your call cannot be completed. But this is the sample G whistle. So if we go to Serum and call up Serum, you can look down the list and there should be, I think I call it G whistle right here. So, but so now you could be playing the groove in here and go through the sounds in Serum and play them musically. So, oh, what's going on? Stop. So there's all the different leads, all the different subs, all the booms. And if you do use it in Serum, I suggest instead of hitting mono, change the polyphony to 2. It clicks a little, but not as much as when you set it to mono. It's a different type of click, so you choose between the 2. But all of the subs, the effects, they're all there to play with. And then there's additional things added to this in that not only that, but I decided to add some sounds that were kind of like appropriate for urban, street, city genres from Mega Magic Guitars. So you can have a stuff like that going on. That kind of like a ballad with hard beats is kind of a cool thing these days. So you have all sorts of sounds that there's also some really great pads and so forth from the viola and the cello libraries that I've produced. And you could make this a fast attack. Now, I will say, because it's a single sample, you don't expect this to be like, oh my gosh, great solo violin or viola or cello. Well, the violin we haven't even done yet. We're working on that now. But no, these are more the pad things and composite things that I built towards the end of those libraries that are cool. And I've had a number of people ask, yeah, you can't download the free Contact Player to use these. No. The Contact Player is only working with libraries that say that they will work with the Contact Player. And that's because that company paid money to Native Instruments for the processing to prepare it as a library in their special format. And then they've bought serial numbers, and you get a serial number. You have to put in the serial number. I don't want to do those, or else my libraries would be a lot more expensive, and there's a lot more administration involved for getting new serial numbers and duplicates. And I tried that with Mega Macho drums, and I was not too happy with the way that went. And so, yeah, I don't do things for the Kontakt player. I just do things that require the full version of Kontakt, but then the libraries I can sell you are a third of the price, you know? So it's pretty good cost savings. Yeah, there's additional fees and serial numbers. So as long as you have the full version of Kontakt, then you're good to go with this stuff, okay? Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff to play with. And what's fun with this for Serum is I wanted to give it a different personality than existing Serum libraries. I mean, there's so many hard, you know, dubstep bass type music type libraries. I want to do something that was like a whole different personality for Serum. And so to have, that's kind of a philosophy with a number of these libraries. The Mega Magic Dreams, Bells, Winds are definitely things that you don't expect. If you get to the winds, they're really cool. Down here, the flutes. So these are things that are very different than what you expect from Serum. We do have other libraries like Evil that get into all the squealy big stuff. Because this stuff's fun too, but it's fun to bring out other personalities than what everybody else is doing. So that's where urban fits into the picture. Is it's kind of a hybrid, smooth, chill. There's some really cool keyboard sounds in here. All right. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. There's a new version of Kontakt Complete, Native Instruments Complete coming out at some point in the future, but who knows when that is or what it will contain. Fingers crossed that it's really cool. So that's those three libraries. I think we're going to seal the deal there. If you have any questions, they're so fun to play with. Oh, I've messed up the kit, so it won't play what I was doing. But I want to move on. So part 2 of this live stream is, hold on a second, I need a little bit more yogurt. So there's this one really nice gentleman that's in the chat named Bernie. And he contacted, I think we started our conversations in August of last year. And he had contributed some patches to one of the libraries, and they were really nice patches. And so we were talking programming stuff. And I'm not sure how it worked, but we had other people that had worked on, I think it was the Boombox library. Or was it Cello? Bernie, what was the first library you worked on? I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. But there were other programmers that had done patches that were really nice in the library too. And Bernie reached out to them and started this ESC collective, which is, yeah, Boombox. Yeah. The European Sound Collective. And so basically, he's keeping track of other people that are programmers in Europe. And they are a resource. I've been able to reach out and ask them to contribute patches, and they have done so. It's been just a wonderful thing. They're going to do future libraries, but they wanted to do for their first library something kind of unique in that you guys are very nice. Was a song cat test too. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had to do that again. It takes so much to organize those things. But because he got these people involved, he gave them the idea to do a tribute library because of the appreciation. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. Appreciation for the lessons and the videos I've created and the libraries. And so they started working on a library, and it's been in the works for a while, and it's now done, and it's really awesome. It's 250 patches for Omnisphere 2. 2.4, if you're playing with the beta, they should load, but it's a 2.4 library. And so I'm going to show that to you. I'm just so blown away. It's coming out next Saturday on my birthday. Here it is, the ESC Tribute. And it's going to be at a really cool special price because that's how we like to do things. And this is the artwork so far. I don't know if this is final or not, but it's the ESC PlugInGuru Tribute Library. And here's my face in an Omnisphere library. So you guys tell me if you like that or not. I'm not sure about the... I might have... I have a graphic artist that I'm going to get involved, but I hadn't gotten him involved yet. So this was my first stab at the artwork. So let me know if you like it. So I'm going to go through some of the patches. I'm not going to do a complete patch walkthrough because it's 250 patches. Look at all these great patches. The thing that's really amazing is look at the name of the authors. Some of these you might know, some of these you might not know from other PlugInGuru libraries. Some people that have done other PlugInGuru libraries, and people that there's Stefan Baer that sells libraries on his own. That's a really great programmer that's contributed to this. Okay, so I'm getting positive reports on the interface. Look, okay, so good. But Clark, Darius, Gareth, Harold, Bernie's up here, Anton, Coxa, who's actually from Singapore, but they let him in under a special green card, I guess. Harold, who had a heart attack, had operations, I think 2 or 3 operations, and he's still working away. Thank God. Glad you're here, my friend. Jan, JX3D, Laurent Veronis contributed a patch, which is awesome. Marcel, Marius, Stefan Baer, and Tim Dale, our own Tim Dale that's done Sabersphere libraries. He has a library coming out later this year. 3 in 4 weeks. 3 heart operations in 4 weeks. That's amazing, my friend. And Gareth, I just want to make sure I say thank you to everybody. You guys, it's so kind that you've done this and so awesome. So this library has all categories. You can see the whole list of categories that are available. Starting at the top, we could play some basic. I should almost have a groove going to play with these. So let's do this. Let's see, what kit do I have up? Let's do it this way because we're playing with the grooves and stuff. So if I go over here, let's say like here. That's cool. It's kind of a tribute to Dark Knight. So now we can go over here and, oh, play. Find the kit we like. Maybe let's mute this sub. So let's just turn down the volume. Because when you're trying to show basses, until you figure out the key and stuff, don't have basses playing with your sub. Great. I think I'm a little loud on the output, so let's hit my mixer for a second. And let's take all these guys and just bring them down just a little bit. Always forget to do not disturb. There. Great. Beautiful. Nice, Tim. And we're going to keep their initials at the ends of them so you see who did what. There's some really fun creative stuff. The BPMs. They work. I want to quickly get a bass going with that. Like I said, I'll do a complete patch walkthrough video before it's released. The other thing that's special with this is that it's using... Oh, they're just synths. Oh, nice, Bernie. There's like a guitar quality to it. But there is a set of samples. If we go over here to user, the ESC libraries right here. They have both some samples from existing libraries as well as different programmers made their own sounds. So you as you go through this library, there's 150 megabytes of samples in this library as well. So it's got a whole lot of great stuff going on. Lots of sonic wonderful stuff. Yeah. He's using a cello. Mod wheel up. Lovely. Delaney. So it's playing with the shape on here. Let's see what it's going to on. I love to study people's patches. Yeah. It's a great way with Wavetable Sense to get that sonic stuff changing over time, is because the shape, which is changing the wavetable, is just sitting here going like this. So it's always evolving and giving you different harmonics, which is lovely. I might have to look at this. It sounds like the ARP speed. What is this set to? Yeah. Oh, it's on an LFO. That's you should not do this. Let me see what else is happening to this with LFO 2. There's no rate and a little depth, but what's happening is it's falling out of time. We're speeding up. So it's really dangerous with rhythmic stuff to have the arpeggiator speed. Now it doesn't change. So I'm going to save that with that edit. Go patch, resave, quick. It's really dangerous with things that are assigned to the arpeggiator for rhythmic stuff to play with speed, because it's very temperamental, and a little bit of change in the tempos, all of a sudden gone. That's nice. Dusty synth. So it's a great library with a ton of just really inspiring. That's awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Jean Michel. This is definitely one of those where you want to like hit layer and like start like building it up. Nice. Cool. Sparse is good. You guys know Skippy likes sparse. Nice, Bernie. The synth other category is very fun, where you have a synth sound, take the synth sound out, and you have this other thing that's just dancing along with it. Very cool. There's so many. I mean, my goodness. Great spirit. That's great. You guys have learned well. It's such nice to be playing people's patches and go, hey, they really understand. Give it so it goes from one place to another place. It's musical, gives you goose pimples when you play it. Cool. Little other in there. You guys. Oh, dang it. You're going to make me do it. Okay. Got to hit stack. Got over here to go part 2. Let's play with some of these really cool. Laurent Veronis's ARP will work really nicely on part 3. Nice. Fun. Yay. Skippy's happy. These are really nice. Initialize that multi. Let's get back to part 1. So as you can see, there's a ton of ARP. Look at all that ARPs and look at all the bass. I mean, and then using JX3Ds. Nice. Cool. Kind of bass other. Hey there, Jason. Nice Henrik. My gosh. Here's Harold. Cool. Kind of drum other effects. Almost could be ARP, just because it's more synth tone than effect. Now that's effect. Oh, that's nice, Philip. Thank you, my friend. Something is happening. Nice. Yeah, Anton's a great programmer. He's a new cat. I think he's from Russia or the Ukraine. Never stop this. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just see you guys later. I'll just stay here. Moscow, cool. Even the police. That's beautiful. So using some random, awesome. Let's see the whole list. Look at all this modulation. I love it. Changing layers, synths, timbres, ARP length. As long as you're not touching the speed, you're okay. Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Go crazy. Oh my gosh. BPM pads. Oh goody. It's like Christmas. 250 new toys to play with. And I think in talking to Bernie, I think it was hard for them to come down to 250. But they did it. I've talked in the past about how with Korg, we would go to Japan. There's gentlemen from Italy, from England, from New York, myself, sometimes someone else from the West Coast. We'd sit in a room and we would play patches and they'd be organized by categories and we would vote. And then we would argue to build the library. So the voting process works really nicely. And they used the voting process on their own patches. And I think they did 3 revisions of going through the patches. They know how picky I am. And so they really put on their picky spectacles. And man, nice to play patches and go, you know, there's not a lot I would do to change these if it was mine. But on this library in particular, I'm not touching anything because these guys made these patches. I have no, I can't touch them. I don't want to touch them because these guys are saying thank you to me. So why would I say thank you to them back by changing their patches? So I would never do that. I will turn off the tempo on the arpeggiator for speed. I will turn that off, but that's about it. But thank you. I mean, this is such a cool thing to have somebody appreciate what you do like this. Yes, you know, I'm going to be traveling more, and so it would be definitely fun to do some meetups. I cover I cover a number of photographers, and they do these meetups where they go places and they do pictures and meet people in the area. So, oh, thank you, Bernie. You guys are so kind. You can see these are killer patches. Have to quantize it, of course, to get it to be really tight, but that's awesome. Very nice. Pulsing grains. Lovely. So many patches, my God. Good to see you, Jason. Yes, I'm just touching the surface. I mean, there's so many here to play. Need to get you guys writing some demo songs next, huh? Cool. Lovely. Cool. Lots of fun LFO modulation stuff going on, I hear. It's really nice. E effects. There's your Tuvens used in a different way. Ah! Orb is in use. Very cool. We've lost contact with the satellite. Repeat, lost contact with the satellite. How are the gating effects getting in there? With LFOs on amp, does Omnisphere have a gated filter? Well, let's initialize the patch real quick. We'll look at that. The main way to do gating effects, if you're going to do them inside of Omnisphere, there's a couple options. One is to use the LFO, and all you would do is, it's actually easiest to do it here. Turn down the volume, because then you can like assign this to an LFO. And if you want to pulse like a gate, I do like this type of, I do this all the, set it to sync, set it to legato, set it to eighth notes. And then here's your intensity. So that's 100% intensity. That's your basic LFO shape. Now, if you want to get more in depth in this, then you can click right here where it says LFO. Let's change it to mod LFO 4. Make it polyphonic. And then, like, if you own Del Norte, you have the Del Norte pulses. I made a whole bunch of pulses in a whole bunch of different shapes. And these will let you create your own shapes, some of them being more you can design the shape exactly how you want instead of it being an LFO shape. If you're in a complex patch where there's a lot going on, let's take one of these patches from here that has a lot happening, right? And I want to modulate this. It would take a lot of work, and I've got, let's see, we've got a delay here. There's reverb on the auxiliary bus. It's being sent here. It's not being sent here, which means it'll be reverb all the time. Because if you assign something here to this bus for reverb, even if I put something over here that changes the volume, utility imager, the reverb still rings out. It's on its own bus. This is kind of interesting. Actually, I think if you change this to pre, no. If you use the auxiliary sims right here, they go to their own buses that you can't touch, even on the common. At least I don't think you can. That's why usually, like, if I want to have this, I would take this down here, and I'd set it here. The reverb on that bus still rings out, but at least I can kill the send of it. And then right here, you could go over here and you'd say modulate this with an LFO if you want to do just that type of pulse. And let's say LFO 4 because I don't know which ones are being used. Sync, 8th notes, and then change. Change the shape, intensity. So it depends on how you want to do pulsing, but yes, you can do pulsing. Usually you would use right here on the amp stage, right here. It's a way of kind of like, it's best to do that than to try to do it actually to the amp envelope, usually, I find. You get clicking, you get all sorts of other stuff in here that doesn't work quite right. But having it happen right here, it seems to be the preferred way to go. You can do it other ways though, so it's not the only way. But yeah, hopefully that helps. You're welcome. What's fun with this is that by doing that, you can take any patch, and this is one where the very last step is the imager. There's a mod wheel. Yeah, this is a trick I do a lot where you have this set to the mod wheel, probably inverted, coming down a little bit as you bring up the. It's getting more intense. Well, you could also bring this down a little bit and modulate this with an LFO. And let's do it this way. Let's go modulate and let's choose an LFO. Let's just say LFO 6 to be safe. Sync, legato, 8th notes, make it our happy pulse. And if you click right here, it's unipolar. So then that makes it not go below this stat. It's kind of a big difference. Like here's without that. So now it goes all the way down, half of the throw. It seems more controlled timing wise to do it this way, unipolar, because that way this point right here becomes the actual clock time. Okay. You could do something like this and the module still works. It's still there, so I could go show modulation for the wheel. Just make it maybe more intense. So you can assign a pulse to anything as long as you know where to look. And if it's a patch where there's a lot going on with effects, then you want to get after the effects to do the pulsing, or else it just becomes kind of a jumble. Like if you have something like this, you could have a pulse here. Let's do this. I'm making it just one layer, right? I could do it here, but it's going to give you two different things. So let's say 5, sync, legato. But as you see, because it's pulsing here, the delays still pick it up, right? Whereas if I unmodulate this and if I go here and I at the output stage right here, I put my utility imager, which seems to be the best thing to do pulsing, and let's say LFO 6. Oh, was it 5? Sorry, that was loud. Now you could set this doing something like this, and it's after the delays and the effects, so they are being controlled volume wise along with the sound. Right? Whereas if I was to do this at this stage, modulate with LFO 5. Let's see. The sound goes away, but the delays keep going. So you have two choices. It just depends on what you want. Do you want the delays to be gone or not? It's two different effects. So there you go. So BPM ARPs like crazy. Basses, we went through these. Drums, effects, guitars, leads, BPM pads, BPM plucks. So there's no ARP, so I think it's just a pluck and fades out. Nice. Very nice, DJ. And as you can see, I'm not even halfway through the library. So after you get past all the BPM stuff, there's brass, which is using a sample that was in the Radio Ready library. There's Enigma. Cool. Cool effects, guitars. Kind of guitar other. Cool. Very cool. So there is so much, and then keys, my goodness. Technically, I would call these synth, just because it's a fast synth to play. But you play it as a keyboard too, so. Works either way. It's kind of one of those like gray, whether you go back and forth, you know, leads. Wow. Here's one from Stefan. Great. So all of these are pads. Holy cow. Lovely. Laughing pad. Lights and fog. Wow. Cool. Silver shards. Wow. So pads, plucks, strings. Cool. Wah-wah guitar. Well, save up for it, Tech. Omnisphere is not inexpensive. It's got so much to it. It's basically, if you were to look at the number of libraries that are, because you got to know the history of Spectrasonics, because before they released these virtual instruments, they were a sample sound making company for Roland and Akai samplers, and they released probably 12 different libraries or so, maybe, I can't remember the exact number, of voices, guitars, distorted reality, all sorts of things. Those are all in here. Those are $100 libraries each. So if you added those all up, plus all the new stuff, you get to where the sound library part of Omnisphere alone is this thing that should be considerably more expensive than what they sell this for as it is. So, but I didn't use it as much. If you want to get familiar, thanks, MJ. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's worth the investment. I truly, highly suggest and recommend. There's just so much it can do because it has this huge sample library and this huge synthesizer with all this cool fun stuff inside of it. So it's kind of unrivaled in everything it has. In my opinion, Serum, Omnisphere, or FL Studio, be careful with FL Studio. I have a friend that's hard drive was erased from FL Studio working with the new version that just came out. He's talking to them to find out what happened, but be very careful. Serum is an in-your-face synthesizer, and it's very different. I mean, you're talking like pineapples and apples and oranges, you know? They each provide you, the artist, with a paintbrush that can create certain colors. And Omnisphere is kind of tricky in that it can do a lot more colors than most synthesizers. And it has a sound quality to it that is really unique and special and deep and huge and all that kind of good stuff. But, you know, Serum is not a slouch. There's the synthesizer inside of Serum is incredible. The synthesizer inside of Spire is another synth that's great. The synthesizer inside, there's a whole bunch of synthesizers that are really nice. Anna 2, the new one that came out, is really nice. So, you know, it's just let them slowly build up over time. Enjoy what you got. Is it worth buying Trillion or Keyscape to use it only for Omnisphere patches? Trillion is great. I love Trillion. I like Keyscape a lot. Let me see here. If we go to Trillion, the thing about Trillion that's great is that it has not only the synthy basses and stuff like that, but it has Chapman bass. It's got, if you go here to type, bass, fingered, these electric fingered basses and stuff. These are incredible. Thousands of samples. They do the slides, the glides, all the things that can do really realistic. And for programming, sure, these are great inside of Omnisphere for programming. You have all the synthesizer shapes and so forth. And Keyscape, I don't want to say anything bad about it. It's great. It's a really great, especially the electric pianos and the museum stuff. The acoustic pianos are really good. It gives you a lot of stuff that you don't have to go anywhere else to get. So you can't fault. There's things like, even these like the staccatos were short. great. The hardcores, a different vibe personality-wise. And if you hold on the sustain pedal, play the same note over and over again, it's round robins, and it's done in a way it's very realistic. Plays really nice. You can't, I mean, they're very smart with what they bring out. Everything they've brought out has been really good. So, you know, just up to what you need, you know? So there you go. Pads, again, all this stuff is great. Strings. I'm going to do a walkthrough video before the library comes out. It's kind of a first impression playing around with this. Awesome. Really cool. Wow. Very cool sound. These are fun where I start doing one thing, and if you hold down the notes, it's something totally different. Very cool. Workout in the 90s. Awesome. Textures. These are going to be fun. Cave sweep. So you have pretty much everything you need from textures to basses to BPM stuff forever. Harold's Drowning House, cool. Oh yeah, if you can get Computer Music Magazine, it has a wonderful version of Thorn. Dimitri's synthesizers are awesome. For $6, you can't beat it. Let me show you that for just a second. By the way, thank you so much for this. I mean, my God. So this will be the tribute library coming out in 1 week. Lovely. I hear some granular. Yeah. Fun. Like if you take granular off on these. Turn on granular. Yeah. So they're talking computer hardware. It's so hard to talk so many things at the same time. I have a 2010 body. It has 12 cores, 48 gigabytes of RAM, SSD hard drive for the system, the 3.46 gigahertz processors. But I need to do the live streams as well as play this in real time. So I need all the power I can get, and I still run out. Thorn, let me show you really quick. This is the full version. Let's see here, Dimitri Thorn. This is the full version, which has 3 oscillators. The version that you can get in Computer Music Magazine for $6 for the magazine is only 2 oscillators. But my goodness, this patches that this thing can make. And if you get to the sequence stuff, it's really... There's this glitch sequencer where each step can be repeating. Have sample rate. So it's really, really fun, and it has a very in-your-face. It's a thorn. It's supposed to cause pain, you know. And then there's this. The harmonic filter is still kept in the one that's in Computer Music Magazine, but it's great. It's got all these effects that you can do so much with, route, move things around. It's very cool synthesizer. Props to him. In fact, it's worth buying the full version if you want to support him even more. I don't know how much he gets for the one in the magazine, but it's a great synth. Really great. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Any questions? Oh, yeah, I looked at Wiggle. It's interesting. We'll see. Yes, the tribute library is amazing. It's going to come out for a birthday price because I want to give you guys all a birthday present of this library. So it's not going to be an expensive library because I want to share it as a present back to everybody. So thank you all you guys that contributed to this. The number of hours in programming is evident, isn't it? Everybody, props. Oh. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, all you guys. Everybody say props to the ESC. Yes. And they will be releasing other libraries in the future that they're going to be working on. So they're going to be, this isn't their only, this is the introductory to get you guys to be like really excited for what they do next, right? So, what streaming software you're using, and can you record your DAW on the stream with your current routing? I can. I'm paying the very expensive license fee to use Livestream. I'm going to be looking at another solution instead of renewing that license. It's over $2,000 a year for the license, and then you use their software to do the streaming, and it routes. I'm using a configuration where I have a Soundflower and the Universal Audio card working, and then inside, once you create a new, what's it called? I think it's called a new. I think it was an aggregate. I think it's an aggregate. So you're going to merge things, and then you can combine these things. And then in the audio system setup for my audio preferences, I have it routed to the Apollo Soundflower option that shows up in the list after you've done that. And it's buggy. Each time that I quit the live stream and quit Logic and then run Logic again, it doesn't make sound until I go to Audio MIDI and reconnect everything back up. But that's how I'm doing the live stream. And yes, I could be recording. I could go up here and I could... and this is a test of the voice. Down to groove. This is a test of the voice. Check out really coolly groove. And This is the test of the voice. Down to brew. Then I could put, if you want to have some fun, I've been playing around. I'm not ready to do a full review on it, but this is pretty cool. To put this on your voice. And let's see, it's called different presets. We go here to the presets. That's cool. This is the test of the voice. This is the test of the voice. Check out really coolly groove. This is the test of the voice. Down to groove. This is the test of the voice. Check out really coolly groove. This is the test of the voice. Down to groove. This is a test of the voice. So you can play around and get really cool voices for yourself if you want with this. The auto mode. I could route that if I wanted to, but anyway, you get the idea. That's a very cool synth. Anyway, so I'm gonna go. I want to say your name right. Technitech, right? Technitech. Glad you joined. Good to see you. Are you excited to create new libraries for the updated Omnisphere? I don't know. I'm sort of, I mean, it's nice to have 4 oscillators, but at the same time, it's a lot of CPU power that can be taken away. So I might just stay in 2.4 for a while. We'll see. Time to tell. I'm glad they're doing it. It's got some cool stuff they're doing, so it's awesome. But if I stay in 2.4 and make libraries, then library people that don't upgrade can still have the libraries. And if I go to 2.5, then 2.4, 2.1 customers can't load the patches. So we'll see. Haven't crossed that bridge yet. It's not out. Can't talk about it. So, you know. Thank you all. Yeah, no, I can't say anything about 2.5. Keep quiet there. All right. Thank you, guys. I can't wait for this library. I'm going to do support videos. We got demo sequences to do, all sorts of stuff support-wise this week to create. I leave shortly after that on the 26th for Costa Rica for 2 weeks with my daughter. So that will be really fun. Can't wait to take a breath and see some rainforests, chase around some monkeys and stuff like that. So that will be a lot of fun. All right. Be well. Thanks for joining me for this little hang. Love to do these every week. And we'll see you next week on my birthday. And a new library. Yay! See ya. Bye.